What's going on to you Scorpios out there? So you Scorpios have got the Eight of Swords. You have the Queen of Cups, Three of Swords, Lovers, Knight of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, Page of Cups, Page of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the High Priestess. Okay, maybe I turn on this light here just to make it a little bit more visible for y'all. So what I'm saying here for you Scorpios, the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Cups, Eight of Swords, Queen of Cups, Three of Swords. There's something that a lot of you Scorpios are missing to do right now. The thing that you're missing is to self-love. The Lovers. The Eight of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the Three of Swords is that a lot of you Scorpios have had to go through so much heartbreak up to now, to the point where a lot of you are kind of forgetting the point in the first place. You Scorpios are supposed to be in a position in your life where regardless of whether or not you can get yourselves into a relationship, it does not define who you are. Because I'm seeing that a lot of you Scorpios are putting on a very serious sense of responsibility onto yourselves, and you really don't have to do that at all. You know, a lot of you Scorpios are thinking that, you know, you're losers, or things aren't going your way, or why are things not going your way? And I say that that's not correct. That's completely incorrect, because you're looking at it wrong. One of the reasons why it is that I make these types of videos in the first place is so that people can understand the mentality of what's happening, because part of it is the confusion. Part of it is the idea that when someone dubs you or plays games, you're confused. You don't know what's going on. And of course, the other person playing games, they're not more than likely going to tell you, right? So you're running around scrambling, looking for answers. This is what my YouTube channel and my video brings. It's about looking for answers. It's about and actually getting those answers. So the situation with this person is that you've been getting to know people. Those people have been dysfunctional to you. So what now? So now, because you Scorpios think that you've been getting yourselves into relationships or getting to know people that haven't led to one just yet, it means that there's something wrong with you. When in actuality, that's not necessarily always the case. You could be so good to a point where you got to understand that we're living in a bizarro world where people want dysfunctional relationships. People complain. People leave good people. People say good people are boring. We're in a world that's dysfunctional like that. So since we're in that type of world, you have to take it into consideration that the way that people perceive you as you are getting to know them is also going to be misled or misunderstood as them being dysfunctional with you too, right? And this is the thing that the Queen of Cups and the Three of Swords is stressing. You have to learn to start loving yourself. I've said this a million times to you Scorpios. A lot of you Scorpios like other people so much to the point where you don't even like yourselves. And how I know this, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but how I know this to be true is because of the fact that you Scorpios are very smart and you're very strategic. One of the most strategic zodiac signs out of the entire 12. But the problem is that you got problems because when you interact with somebody that's attractive, that you find physically attractive, now all of a sudden your brain turns into mush. It turns into mashed potatoes. And instead of you Scorpios understand what time it is and realize that these people are not going to be better than you because of their own mentality and their decision making, a lot of you Scorpios get caught up with that. The types of people who you should be dating, you don't. And the types of people who you should not be dating, you do. And then now you're smack dab in the middle of that sandwich. And now it's like, oh, well, how am I supposed to think about this? What am I supposed to do? Well, you're supposed to understand self-love. This is what the Lovers is talking to you about, right? And that it begins with yourself first. It begins in the heart. Allah says, you know, you can find me in the heart. You can find the divine in the heart. That's very true. Me, my name being Kareem, I'm one of the Ramadans, right? In the whole Muslim thing. I'm not Muslim. I'm Moorish, but it starts. The point that I'm trying to make here is that it starts in the heart. It starts in the heart, and a lot of times you Scorpios are not understanding that not every relationship is built equally. You're misperceiving the whole dynamic of a relationship and what it's supposed to be. Why? Because if people are treating you like trash, you Scorpios just keep getting better and better and better. Forget about what people have to say. It's going to get to a point with you where when you develop some sort of standards for yourself and self-respect, number one, it has to come internally. And number two, you will begin to realize that the people who go hard trying to constantly discourage you and tell you how much it is that they don't like you, they really do, but they are dysfunctional. And you can't be a part of that. You can't get caught up with that. The Knight of Pentacles now represents this being a situation for you Scorpios where no matter what it looks like, the Knight of Pentacles, people will no matter what it looks like, whether it's past, present, a situation that you're going through now or in the future, you have to keep this in mind, y'all. Because like I said before, I figured this out back in 2019. I was laying in bed, I was asleep. I had actually was thinking about this problem before, right? And I watched a movie called Basic Instinct with I forgot her name. No, Sharon Stone. Shout outs to Sharon Stone for doing that movie. That movie was disgusting, but I loved each and every minute of it. But the point is I watched that movie and I just kept thinking with myself, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why did this happen? And I went to sleep, and as I was sleeping, your brain thinks of solutions. I thought of such a solution to the point where I woke up, couldn't sleep for the rest of the night. I woke up like 3 o'clock in the morning. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. This is why it is that you go through so many problems. When the better the person you are in a world like today, sometimes you can be reprimanded. And that's the scenario that a lot of you Scorpios are going through. You're going through this scenario right now. This is where I say that there's different forms of singleness or singlehood. Because a lot of times people will try to play it off onto you in your relationships, in particular, Scorpio, like they're listening to what it is that you Scorpios have to say, and they end up continuing to do the same thing. They didn't listen to anything that you said. They don't care. And that's not even really true at all. You got to understand that they're incapable of it. They're coming from a position where they're incapable of making that transition. They're incapable of it. So you can't get people to be in a state where you bring them up to your level when they're stuck and they don't want to come to your level. You can't do that. They're going to be angry for you about it. They're going to be angry at you about it. The mere fact that you held them to some sort of standard, they're going to be angry about that. So what do you got to do? The Wheel of Fortune. You have to know. You have to know that. And how do you know? How do you know that I'm telling you the truth, Scorpio? Because Scorpios dislike liars. But how do you know that I'm telling you the truth, Scorpio? I want y'all to go back and think about all of the relationships that you've had in your life. Why do you think people need to go above and beyond to do things that they know is going to break your heart? Why do they need to do that? If they wasn't interested in you, you're little old Scorpios, right? If you know good and well in your heart of hearts that you didn't really do anything that was very disrespectful and hidden and just meant to manipulate, why do you think that people need to go above and beyond to do things that they know is going to emotionally and mentally and spiritually harm you? Why do you think they need to do that? It's because those people, that's a sign of fear. They are afraid of the fact that they have been corrupted, and you Scorpios have managed to move forward with your lives despite the adversity that you've gone through. They're jealous and they're envious of it. They want what you have, yet they want to move you out of that space because they don't like the fact that you figured it out and they couldn't. They can't go where you can. So the Wheel of Fortune right now represents, what price are you Scorpios willing to pay to keep hanging out with a group of individuals that is going to continue to be dysfunctional with you? Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop feeling like people don't like you. I like Scorpios for one. And I'm sure that there's plenty of other people who like Scorpios. If not, they probably are one. But then again, too, I know what I'm looking at when I look at Scorpios. So I'm not really tripping out about that. So the thing about it is that the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords now represent. So as a result, you're still in a delusional world, Scorpio, where you have this level of self-loathing, this self-dislike. I can't say the H word, but the self-dislike. So you Scorpios have to learn what's going on out here. When you are treating people well and they're hanging out with you, see, people like to mask the dysfunctions that people show as this is a part of the game. No, it's not a part of the game. It's not a part of any game. Y'all are not playing a game. Because again, why do people feel the need to go above and beyond to be disrespectful? You got people, you got masses. How many people on this planet has been betrayed by their so-called friends, and those people treated those friends like gold with sure enough respect, and those so-called friends broke their friend's heart by going above and beyond, doing something intentionally, specifically, that they know would get them in a way where it hurts. Same thing with relationships. You in a relationship with somebody where you want an offspring, you want to start a family, and they specifically go at that particular area, that which they know that what you want, just so that you can feel a certain kind of way. Why is it that they do that? And that's where the power is, Scorpio. This whole reading is about how people will continue to try to take advantage of that. The Wheel of Fortune, the Page of Cups, the Page of Swords. People want you, people who are in the game in particular, they want you to self-destruct. They want you to self-loathe. They want you to have a tick or a tiffy about yourself. They want you to kick yourself. They want you to constantly be at odds with self. When real peace is about, because everybody wants to talk about peace, but real peace is when you are not at odds with yourself. And this is the situation that a lot of you Scorpios got to get over right now. A lot of y'all want me to talk about love, but the cards are saying it, but the cards are not saying necessarily what you would expect. The cards are saying you got to learn to start loving yourself first and foremost before you can move on to somebody else. Because this is a cold world that we have out here, and people will take advantage of your Scorpio-ness and the attention and the intensity that you bring into a relationship if you are not mentally, spiritually, and physically and emotionally sound. You got to get your insecurities up under wrap or under wrap. or wrapped tightly. The Queen of Swords and the High Priestess represent, so as a result, the Queen of Swords, this chair is not very comfortable, but the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess is about how, and guard yourselves. People coming in with all types of intentions, but they looking cute, but they coming in, High Priestess, with all types of intentions. Looking at you, stalking you Scorpios behind the scenes. If you got social media, stalking you, and they know it, your social media, stalking you behind the scenes. People will have your number, won't even text you because they waiting on you to text them first because they so goofy. Say little slick things that when you go back and you review, you thinking, this person went ahead and said this slick stuff about me or whatnot. So the next time you talk to them, now it's like you got a chip on your shoulder. Now they bring it up to you. Why does it seem like you got a problem with me? That's how they flipping it on you. You Scorpios gotta get to a point where you can listen to what it is that people are saying. People are speaking an undercurrent. What I mean when I say an undercurrent, most of the times people are speaking with double entendres. You have to know when and where people are speaking with a double entendre. They're saying something that seemingly on the surface doesn't make any kind of sense, but then you need to listen to what people are saying below the surface so you can get an idea of what people are actually trying to say to you. Most of these people who run game are dysfunctional people who talk a lot of stuff to get into disagreements and arguments with people, but when you really pay attention to them, they're crying on the inside, Scorpio. So you coming out here thinking that you expecting the world to take care of you, you're gonna get chewed up and spit out. So let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Wheel of Fortune. Let's clarify that. So you have the Three of Pentacles, Four of Swords, Three of Wands, Ace of Wands. Right. You got to get to a point where you solid domestically within yourself and with your friends. Make sure that your friends and your family are A1. They're official. They're real. They're not just selling you down the stream for anything. They remain solid. You got to get to a point where, again, you get the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is about, otherwise, those so-called friends, they're going to do you in. They're going to try to be your downfall. So the Three of Wands, you have to pay attention. And when people decide that they're those types of people, Four of Swords, that's going to sell you down the river. I'm talking about domestically first before you start to speak to other people. Because like I said, summer is coming up. What happens? And summer is an amazing time to talk to people because everybody's outside. So many people are outside. It's not like the winter time when so many people are in the house because it's cold outside. So you coming outside, if you coming outside to play, you got to be dressed you got to have a lot of layers on when you dress. When you come outside in the summertime, you ain't got to have all of this. It's light clothes season. Everything that you wearing should be light. Anything that's heavy is going to be like hot. So you get a chance to talk to so many people. But when you get yourself well domestically, Three of Wands, anybody that's not being A1 with you Scorpios, you'll see and you'll be able to get away from them. You gotta learn to excommunicate that type of stuff. And then the Ace of Wands, anybody that's giving you a hard time constantly, the two of you always button heads. This is how you know your chemistry between yourself and your friends and your family, and some of those family members are not good. It's because the way that a relationship works, the way that a functional relationship works, whether it's the person that you're romantically involved with, blood related to, friends with, is that there's a time where the two of y'all get along, and there's a time where the two of y'all have beef with one another, problems. But then the times when the two of y'all have beef, it's not forever, and y'all go back to being friends again. If there's a point in time where you find people around you where you can't ever seem to get along with these people, that's how you know that you are not meant to be cool with these people, because there's never a time where there's peace. So pay attention to your own crowd, pay attention to your belonging. Pay attention to your own family, your friends, the people who you belong, not, I ain't gonna say to, but you belong with, that you have a camaraderie with. If those people are fake, you got to stop hanging out with them. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video.